I don't think there's anything more nasty as people reacting to videos.
Are you kidding? I was going to suggest that we do that because it's funny. The highest rated videos are the ones where I look like shit.
That's true. That's true.
Excuse me, what?
What? The light looks good on you today. You didn't turn off the other lights. You just want more light, don't you? Am I digging myself a deeper grave? Am I having bad communication?
You're such an ass.
And you decide to pay by selling your soul, you are coming into covenant with the kingdom of darkness.
This is the good life. Oh, this is the good life.
When you talk to yourself, like out loud or in your own head, how do you address yourself?
I don't, because I know who I'm talking to. I don't need to address myself.
So like you don't say like, I need to go to the store or...
No. Like if I'm, for example, the most arguments I have with myself is trying to talk myself into exercising.
So how do you say
Okay,
it?
so I'm like, get your ass up.
Okay, so it's a your.
Get your, yeah.
Okay, so that's more of like an authoritative, like you are talking kind of down to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking you need that that level of authority.
Yeah, because the bitch ain't listening, so you need that authority to get her moving, yes.
So when I talk in third person.
So how does that sound?
Well, wait, not third person. Third person is Jaysin would do
I'm like,
X.
are you narrating your life
No,
as you go through
I say we.
We?
Yeah. Like
Who's we?
We need to get out of bed. We need to go do this. Hold on. I need to do this first, but then we can do this.
But who is included in the we?
Me.
Okay, but who do you say hold on to if you need to do this first?
Myself. I literally will have like the conversations and breakdowns. We should take a shower, but first I need to go check the mail, then we can shower.
Okay, first of all, you're 6'6" and whatever pounds. There's no way you're fitting more than one of you in the shower. So I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing, but that's not going to happen.
So welcome to Coffee and Cameras, presented by Eo7 Media. My name's Jaysin.
I'm Hilda.
And together, we're Eo7, as the aforementioned title suggests.
But are we also media or just the Eo7?
I like to take a blend of letters and numbers, so yes.
You just threw a bunch of Scrabble tiles on the floor, and that's how you made up the name.
Basically, I found some like license plates, and I was like, that sounds good. So today we're going to talk about communication, as the intro didn't.
Oh my God. Either we are on the ball or we are fighting about this all the time, because you and I have a hard time communicating.
Horrible amount of time.
And after 10 years of friendship and working together, you would think that it would be better, but it's not.
No, but see,
it's a little better.
I think it definitely
we're
is.
learning, but it's like you would think that it would be like not even a subject we need to address at this point.
Well, I believe that's the exact opposite. And I'm glad we're communicating about this, Hilda. That joke might come in a couple more times. I think communication is an evolving thing. And since we are two separate people, we don't live together. You know, we don't spend 24 hours a day. Sometimes we don't see each other for weeks on end. So we're not together all the time growing.
Right.
So I think the communication is growing on your end and it grows on my end. And then we come back together and go, well, now we need to like kind of refocus what we've learned.
Exactly.
And grow together. You know, like learning tricks and stuff through therapy. Tools. Yeah.
Yes. And I think we are doing better. You know, I don't know if it was like the whole male, female, just right brain, left brain thing, because you're so organized and I'm so chaotic, you know, but there's less fighting about communication. That's for sure.
See?
Yeah.
And then when we do fight, it's like, well, maybe we should look at this for a second.
And it's more
calm down.
productive. Yes.
So I don't think it's gotten worse.
No.
I think it's gotten epically better.
Okay, good point.
I think the arguments have gotten more knocked down because I've come to trust you more and like, you know, we've become better friends. So it's become like now I welcome that kind of argument.
What you mean to say is that you finally understand that I am right more than you thought I was in the past.
Where am I? What's going on here? What happened?
It's true. Okay. Anyway. So what's the first thing we're going to talk about?
So we're going to talk about a couple things today. I read this online and I thought it was really interesting. This is from, it's called The Importance of Business Communication from the Erie Institute of Technology.
Okay.
Business communication involves sharing information within and outside an organization to facilitate operations and achieve goals. It includes verbal, written, and nonverbal exchanges among employee, teams, and shareholders. Communication is crucial for decision-making, rapport, customer service, and innovation.
That's a lot of boring blah, blah. How would you put that in your own words?
I don't think it is boring. I mean, granted, it's repetitive.
Yeah, that's
but
what I mean.
I also think it's vital
Okay.
to really distinguish what communication is and why it's valuable.
Okay.
And I think any business out there needs to look at their communication and see how they're doing things and then maybe how they can do it better. And I think, one of the things that you and I talk about all the time is like psychology, like why does X happen?
Yes.
So you look at X and go, well, Y did this, so X is the result, and now we maybe need to tweak the Y a little bit because
You mean the letter Y or the word WHY?
I was thinking the letter Y.
See? Communication.
I don't know if that was predestined right there.
Oh, shut up.
Pre-written.
It was not. I didn't write shit. You're the one with the notes. Who's cheating?
Communication in any business is vital. You and I have expressly talked about this ad nauseum with each other, but I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show.
I don't think so. The first few times that you and I went into business meetings together, I came out a little bit shocked because you went in and introductions, hey, thanks so much, blah, 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 and boom, right into like the presentation. And I was like, I was in shock. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is not what you do at a business meeting. You sit down, you order food, you order drinks, you chit chat, like how their day is, how their week is, like just find out like the story about who they are, why we got to this point, and all that. And you're like, well, no, we're here for business. I'm like, I know, but business won't happen until you talk about this. So you sort of came around to my, way of thinking, so I think we found the perfect balance of, business and business personality, for lack of a better word. But it's like, I think no matter who you're communicating with or talking to or want to impress or want to be friends with, business, personal, otherwise, it's like you need to get to know the person you're talking to on a semi-personal level, be like a real human to them instead of a business.
Yes.
And that's how you make the best connections.
I utterly agree with you. The reason I did that is because I want to treat other people the way I want to be treated.
Right.
And in my belief, like if someone cold calls me and tries to like get me to do something, I don't want to talk with them. If someone comes to my house and does, a cold call, like door knocking
on the door,
I don't want, how am I doing today?
Right.
Because it's already inferred you are ruining my day.
Yeah.
Get me the information.
Right. But the way I saw it, if people are setting up appointments, wanting to talk to us, it's a little bit more than that. So we're not just going in to pitch. We're going in to get to know them to see if we can fit their needs.
Super true.
Yeah.
And I think what we do is very important for that mindset. We need to know who they are, not just who they tell us they are.
Yes. That's why I like to dig a little more, like I know that they sell, product X, but it's like, how did they get to that point? Like, oh, is it because their dad was selling product X? Is it because their grandpa was doing that? Like, how did all this come about? So to me, that's fascinating. I'm not just doing it for my, like to make them feel good, like right. I'm genuinely interested in how that came about.
On February 8th of this year, 2024. Hi, Yuki. Thank you for joining us on Coffee and Cameras. On February 8th of this year, LinkedIn released a big news blurb that tallied all the job applications on their site and looked at all the needs and skills that jobs are looking for. And they listed like the top grossing, like the biggest amount of skills businesses were looking for.
Okay.
And
You mean like what skill got the most hits in
what
all?
skill in all the job
Gotcha.
applications?
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. In my head, I could communicate that way easier. There were things on there like AI prompt writing and Photoshop skills and things like that.
Yeah.
But the number one skill was called human skills.
Human skills.
Human skills.
So what does that mean exactly?
It refers to the fact that people don't have these anymore because that's what jobs are looking for.
Oh my God.
And if that's the number one thing that a job is looking for, that all these jobs are looking for,
That you're able to communicate with another human being?
that is definitely a part of it. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So they broke down human skills into the following 10, the top 10 things for human skills.
Okay.
Research, number 10. Number 9, problem solving.
I could see that.
Number 8, sales. Number 7, teamwork, which let's be honest, if anyone who went to high school and had to do group projects,
Yeah.
fuck teamwork.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I love working with a good team.
You have to.
Not when you're forced to.
You have to.
6, analytics. 5, management. 4, project management. 3, leadership. 2, customer service. And the number one biggest part of human skills is communication. And that tells to me that everyone who is getting jobs aren't displaying these things.
Yes. And the list you just read,
Yeah.
all of them basically stem from the whole communication and being interested in somebody.
100%. 100%.
Like 8 out of 10, I think, is that.
Yeah.
So it's like, management, project management. It's like, that's your, how do you communicate with the team? Sales, how do you talk about the product? Like, you don't have
Or
to sell. You just
why
have
the person needs it,
the
vice
product.
versa. Yeah.
Exactly. So all that makes sense. It's just very basic, being interested in who you're talking to and what you're talking about. Like, is it your subject that you brought up, or are you there for a different reason? So if you just pay attention a little bit and are semi-interested, I think you're good. I know not everybody has great people skills.
That's the problem.
But I think people are too lazy to find the common denominator with the other person. Okay.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think it comes down to being lazy?
Well, not lazy, but it's like everybody's anxious or scared. And I used to be as well, and I still am. I hate big groups. If somebody invites me to a party, I'm immediately no.
Yeah,
if there's more than 3 people, I don't want to talk to you. But
Agreed.
I can talk to 300 people at a wedding. That doesn't bother me.
That's true.
That's
Large
my comfort
group doesn't
zone.
bother me. But a group where I'm hanging out.
Yes, where I need to. So I think that, for example, let's say Nathan, our new assistant, right? The first time we went out together, I'm like, how do I talk to a 20-year-old kid?
Right.
It's like, this is the first time I get to know him. So I just ask a lot of questions, it's school and whatever, and what's going on.
Right.
So then I found out that he has a little brother who has autism. Well, I have a son with autism. So boom, immediate deep connection, because that's something that's serious and we can totally relate on that. So then we talked a bunch about that. That little conversation helped him open up a lot more. And it showed me who he is, and it showed me his not only his communicative skills, but how he looks at life. So it's supposed to be like a neutral conversation, but to me there's so many more layers if you pay attention.
I think everything you said is valid as hell for our business.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up 2 devil's advocates.
Okay, let's hear it.
1, I think some jobs don't have the time, because time is money. And if you have that much time to get to know your people on a very intimate level, you're not working.
True.
And if you're not working, you're not producing, you're not making money. So I think some businesses would really look down on that idea because we need to work.
Right.
Okay. The other thing, I don't think people want to open up that much with an employer.
True. So it's a very delicate balance.
Yeah.
Each business has to decide what's best for them. So obviously we get to know our employees or people we work with, because on a more intimate level because we're such a small company, you know. But I've seen bigger companies that actually like go through like the day and like touch base with everybody, and the CEO is not separated in their special office, like he's also in a cubicle with everybody else. So whatever works for your business, that's what you should do. I mean, this is just, you know, just talking about from personal experience, obviously.
If this many jobs are looking for communication skills, I can tell you 30 times in the last couple months, I've like gone through a McDonald's or something like that. And the communication skill level of, and I'm not pointing out McDonald's as a bad thing. I'm just talking like fast food, something.
Yep.
But I'll also add to this, higher paid positions, I don't feel like are good communicators either. But like, I always feel like there's no communication real skill there. And every once in a while, I'll meet someone at like a restaurant and I talk to them a little bit, and you know, everywhere I go, I have to say hi, how are you doing? And I actually want to know. But most people just blow it off and don't really communicate well back.
Right.
Talking is not communicating. It is a facet of communication. Just like you were saying, like getting to know someone. But then again, like you don't get to know, like if I'm there at Chili's and my waiter is like, hey, how are you guys doing today? He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He cares about what you want to eat so he can go back to doing his stuff.
He's just being polite.
He's got other shit to do. And he's also working for a tip. So I get it. Bad communication puts the brand at a bad place.
Yes, 100%. And also, I just want to point out, because this is really recent in my memory, and it's communication is way more than just verbal. Okay,
yes,
because
highly.
Recently I had to go to a new vet for reasons. You know, I have 2 new kittens, and I called a bunch of places, and this is the one place that could fit me, and I was so excited. And the woman on the phone, she was just like so nice, and she's like, yes, honey, you bring in those kittens and everything. Like, she was like the mom that's going to take care of me because I'm like having a heart attack over these kittens. So I get in there, and you know, this other woman, so like the woman on the phone was definitely not the woman that checked me in. The woman that checked me in was like very much like, hello, what's your appointment? Like super like, and she did nothing wrong. Like she was exactly, and like giving me advice, like whatever, but she was so straight faced, and she has no reason to smile at me. Like she's not getting paid to smile, but like in my mind, like I just talked to a very happy person on the phone. I came in like excited. Like I'm like, even though I'm going to spend money and like I'm worried about my cat, you know, I'm still like, oh, wow, these people are so nice. And then I come across with somebody that's very stoic and kind of like low key, which is fine. She did nothing wrong, but it didn't match in my brain what I was expecting.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
And then like every other person there, including the doctor and the signs on the wall and everybody was cheerful and vibey, and like it's exactly what I was expecting, except for that one girl. And guess what? I keep thinking about that girl to this day, and it bothers me a little bit because I know it shouldn't. It shouldn't bother me. She was perfectly nice. She was professional. She did everything she was supposed to, but she didn't have the same energy as the other people. And it actually felt kind of disappointing.
I totally get that.
So that's nonverbal communication. Yes, she did nothing wrong, but I guess she didn't get the memo that this is a cheerful place. That's
well, I mean, like you can't enforce that.
No, you can't. It would be wrong.
It would be. I think it
yeah.
would be.
But I'm just saying, like how as a consumer, as a client, not a business person, like how I saw that situation. And even though I know logically, like this doesn't make sense, it still bothered me.
Oh, yeah.
So that was eye-opening.
I think everyone goes through those kind of situations, right? You get like that one great person at a place that just puts you in that great positive mood, and you meet someone else at the same place and go, what the hell is going on? But I think we as business owners who have to deal with that can see that, like, and actually dissect it. Like, this is why this isn't working because now you're not on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such a bummer because having that good kind of communication with a customer.
Yep.
I mean, okay. Great example. There was a restaurant years ago called Z451.
Okay.
My parents ran a business. And to celebrate the year, we went to Z451 to eat dinner.
Okay.
And it was a Brazilian steakhouse. Have you ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse? Oh my God.
Where all the meats keep coming. Yes. Heaven.
Their kitchen was on a wood stove, and they had different woods from around the world, and they would like keep their meats in a salt locker for 28 days. Why do I remember this?
Why?
Bullshit.
Because did somebody come to your table and tell you all that?
No.
Why?
Because at the whole time we had a great meal, everything tasted good. We got to the end of the night, and the owner came out and said, "Do you want dessert?" Me being the little fat kid that I was, in my 20s, I said, "Yeah, like ice cream, just something nice and calm and relaxing." And he goes, "Okay, let me see what I can do." Meanwhile, they're talking, the owner's talking to everyone. He tells us the whole story about why it's called 451, because that's the temperature paper burns at.
Okay.
And Z is the ultimate end thing. Like this is the ultimate burn.
Wow.
Okay. And he goes, "Well, why don't you come on back?" So he showed us the kitchen. He showed us the grills. He showed us like the history of everything. He showed us the salt locker.
Oh my God.
He said some of the meat cooks for 2 days before they can serve it. Wow. And then we get back to the table, and this waiter comes over with a bowl of ice cream. And it's some of the best ice cream I've ever had in my life. And I didn't know about this at the time, but later they went out and bought the ingredients to make ice cream.
What?
And then came back and made ice cream.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
What the hell?
It was right next to a Jewel.
Oh my God.
And I lost my damn mind. The whole time, they're having a great customer experience, but then they take the time to give a shit a little bit. And I'll tell you this, I've been to other Brazilian steakhouses. I've had my wedding reception at one. None of them were as good as this one. And I can't tell you if the food was better or not, but the experience was
that
so much better. And it sticks with me
years later.
because they took, 10 minutes to come out and talk with us? Holy shit.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I think it's the little things that mean a lot. Yeah. Even maybe you're not even aware as a business person what you're doing,
Earlier on, when I asked why you think communication is bad, you mentioned lazy. Do you think it's lazy, or do you think it's more of like a cultural thing where kids have grown up with tablets in their hand and I can't tell you, every child I have seen at a grocery store has a phone blaring whatever the hell they're watching.
Yep. And before you judge them, please remember that if the phone's not blaring, then the kid would be screaming. So which one would you rather have?
I know. I get it. However, I'm not saying technology is bad. I live in, by, with, and for technology. Yep. But do you think that we as a culture have moved away from human to human interaction, and instead our communication skills, while have evolved, have gotten worse face to face?
Yes. 100%, because we have so many other alternatives aside from face-to-face or even on the phone. Like, what's the first thing we did when text became practically free? We stopped answering the fucking phone and asked people to text us.
Good
it's
point.
Like, I hate talking on the phone now, but I don't mind face-to-face and I don't mind text.
Yeah, true.
So I think it's just easier. Like, a lot of people have anxiety, so like they can send a text at their leisure versus trying to meet face to face or whatever. And also it's easier to schedule a Zoom call. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to be ready. So we're less practiced because it's easier to communicate not face to face.
So why do we have, like, I know you and I both have anxiety on the phone, but if I'm calling like a business, or if a phone call is scheduled, it doesn't bother
100%,
me. But if I just get a phone call out of the blue, it'll shut me down for the rest of the morning. Like, I can't go back to work.
You're so funny.
I don't know why. I remember back when I was working at Tiger Direct. Do you guys remember what Tiger Direct was? It was Amazon before Amazon was really Amazon. And they sold computer parts, they sold computers, technology, shit like that. And I was working in Depot. And the amount of people who would do an Irish goodbye in that job was just
Okay, what's an Irish goodbye?
The Irish goodbye is like people come in the morning, they get trained, they see what the job entails, and then they go to the bathroom
And never come
back.
Oh my God, I've done that.
Have you really? Oh my God, let's walk through this because like
Oh my God, I left at lunch and I didn't come back.
I don't know how people can do this. I can't tell if like I was raised a certain way or if like my generation. It's obviously not the fucking generation.
Ooh, man.
So walk me through. What job did you Irish goodbye?
It was answering phones at like one of these like center office things. Like everybody goes into it, right? So I walked in and like, oh yeah, here's how it's gonna go, and here's training and whatever. And one of the guys that came through, like, I'm being introduced as a new girl that they're training, and one of the guys just walked through. I guess he was having a bad day. Looks at the woman that's training me, goes, I wonder how many days she's gonna last, and walked out. I didn't even last half a day. I was gone by lunchtime.
Yeah, but that's a really negative workspace.
Right. So I went to lunch and I thought about what happened, and I never fucking went back. And I felt embarrassed and I felt horrible. And I felt even worse when I went back to the store to return the work pants that I bought. They were not happy with me. Yeah. And I just couldn't. I didn't have the guts to quit. So I just bailed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that really quick. And I got a fun story about this too. But why don't you think you had the guts?
Because who the fuck quits after one day?
People who don't want to do it.
Exactly. So I just left. You know my personality type is avoid instead of, you know.
Okay.
Remember, I was like fucking 18, you know. So
and you were still new to the country.
Yes. So it was like, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
one and only time I did that. Yeah. And I
that was your only time.
One and only time, because I felt so shitty afterwards, and I imagine like how the people felt, you know. So, but at least they didn't invest a week in me before I quit. It was just half a day. So yeah.
Training employees is like the worst thing because all your productivity goes out the window. Yep. And then you need to like hope that they stay.
Yeah.
Because that is monumentally bad if they don't. Like I've always given like a month notice.
Wow.
I've always given like 3 weeks notice.
You're such an overachiever.
I've only ever had one job where I gave a 1 week notice to.
Okay.
And like I've never even walked out on a job. I've never quit.
Wow.
I've always given at least a week because I'm like, look, I know you have to replace me. I know you have to do this. Even when I was a fucking kid, I was 18 years old and I've already had a lot of jobs by then.
Yeah.
I've worked a lot of different sectors in my life. This was a construction company digging holes for sewer pipes.
Whoa.
And it was part of my job. It was like week number 2. It was part of my job to be at the bottom of the hole while they were like digging the hole out. This is like, I mean, easily 20 feet deep.
Why the hell were you in the hole? For what reason?
I had to help like guide these like frames down.
Okay, gotcha.
To like hold the walls in.
Okay.
And they kept telling me, they're like, look, if it falls in, run as fast as you can to get out. And I was like, oh,
how do you run to get out of a hole? That's what I want to know.
It's not like
straight down.
It's not a straight down.
Okay.
It's more like this.
Got it.
So they dig and then they scrape it up. And they scrape it up.
Gotcha.
For safety, I'm guessing. And sure enough, the walls collapsed on me.
No.
Bent in the safety thing. And I just sprinted as fast as I could. And this was when I was still in really good shape.
Oh my God.
So I could run a little bit. And I got out enough that my boot got sucked under and like I couldn't get it out. Like we had to like dig it out with a backhoe. I was terrified.
No shit.
I was just like, I was breathing heavy. I was scared out of my mind.
Because you almost fucking died.
Right. And then the boss was like, okay, get back to work. I was like, oh. Mm-mm. So I went home that night and I had a really deep conversation with myself. And I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Wow.
So I called him and I was like, look,
Yeah.
I'll give you 1 week.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not willing to die for this job. It's not like you're digging for fucking gold, you know?
I was digging sewer pipes.
Holy shit.
So
That's scary.
So I just learned of a new phrase. I've never heard of this before called quiet quitting.
Okay.
Have you ever heard this?
I've heard of it, yeah.
You have?
But I don't know what it means exactly, to be honest.
Business leaders face a new management challenge, managing workers who are quiet quitting. It's a phrase some Gen Z professionals use to describe disengaging from their job and completing only the minimum required.
Okay.
Like if you've ever seen Office Space. Have you seen Office Space?
It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Office Space?
Yeah.
Or The Office?
Office Space. Mike Judge.
No.
Oh, God. Okay. Watch Office Space.
Ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
You'd like it.
Okay.
Quiet quitting, I get that. I've had those jobs
Yeah.
where like they just don't give a shit about you. And here's a retort. It says a lot of people are talking about quiet quitting, but very little about quiet firing, which is where you don't give someone a raise for 5 years, even though they keep doing everything you ask them to.
Ouch.
Which is a really good communication tutorial
Yep.
thing. I think treating your employees is as vital as treating your customers.
Yep. Yep.
Have you ever had a job where like you just absolutely hate working there?
Yes. Yes.
What was it?
It was Pickway Shoes.
Pickway Shoes?
Yes. And it wasn't the job, it was the boss.
It's always the
my
the people.
God. Rhonda hated me and I hated Rhonda with a passion. And she was just like this. Ooh, like she would call me on my day off to yell at me about what I did or didn't do.
I'm not getting paid for this.
I know. Oh, and she would make me come in on Saturdays and stuff because it was mandatory meeting, except we weren't paid for the meeting. And guess what? The Department of Human Services came in and investigated, and I was gone like 10 years at this point, right? Well, no. But they still wanted info about it for people who work there. I got a $6,000 check in retro pay for the freaking meetings.
Shut the front door.
No. 10 years later, I got a $6,000 check because they just got screwed big time. Yes.
Damn. Okay.
So Rhonda was wrong. Anyway, so,
and what you're saying is absolute truth. I think anyone can attest to that. There is some shitty jobs out there, but I could probably do most anything unless it's with bad people.
yeah, agreed.
I could do my favorite thing unless it was with bad people. People make or break the job. So I think having this positive workspace is so vital, not only for your employees and for your team, but let's get down to it. Like your customers will experience and really understand how you treat your employees because they're going to treat the customers the same way.
Yes, 100%.
And I never understood those jobs that treated their employees like dirt.
And you can definitely tell when you walk into a business who is well paid and happy versus who's just there because they need a paycheck. 100%.
Now,
100%.
The well paid is nice, but even if you're like super well paid, if you have to deal with shitty work environments, that's horrible.
True.
I have a very good friend who was making 6 figures and hated his job.
Oh my God.
So he quit he got like a $30,000 less per year job because it wasn't as stressful, because he didn't have to deal with the people. And
it was worth it to him.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was so happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, holy crap. I used to work a job where they used to like mandatorily make you do a certain number of things per day so I had to like rebuild computers or like rebuild TVs, figure out what the problem was, then try to fix it, and then either put it back on the shelf as new, which always bothered me, or put it into like, this is defunct, and they send it back to the company or it gets trashed. They would make you do 30 or 40. It actually went up to 40 while I was there, 40 items per day. If you are doing it at a good clip, like you're actually paying attention to what you're doing, you're in the zone, I could get maybe 5 done per day.
Oh my God.
So the guys who are working there, they said they will fire you if you don't hit these numbers. And I was like,
so you did a shitty job
So
then.
wouldn't it be advantageous to do this right so you save the company money?
No, because numbers
like, no.
mattered more, I
the
guess.
Numbers mattered more because that's what the top brass looks at.
Yeah.
And what we would do, and this is like far gone, like the truth is out there.
Yeah.
But the people in charge of my area, not the bosses, but the people in charge of like the actual workers were like, just carve into the screen.
What?
Take a screwdriver, carve into the screen. Oh, it's dysfunctional. You can't sell it as new. If you couldn't figure it out in time. Like we had like a certain amount of time on a time watch to be like, look, if you can't figure this out, it could be something like I know how to fix.
Oh my God.
It could be a blue screen of death, and all it would take is like remapping a drive, putting a new drive in, blah, blah, blah. But you couldn't do it because you don't have the time.
Oh my God.
So you'd take some wires inside and break them off the motherboard and go, it's broken. I don't know what's wrong.
That's disgusting that you had to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And I hated doing it. But after like a year, it was like, well, fuck, this is the only way to do this, because I'm going to get fired if I don't just hit the number.
Yep.
And then we started doing like better numbers. And that's when they're like, oh, you can do 40 now. And I'm like, oh okay. Well,
Yeah.
And they wondered why are there so many defects?
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Yeah. That's sad. That's sad. Yeah, when you push for the numbers, like everything falls apart. Because I remember when my husband used to work at Home Depot, and they used to do inventory, and it was like very big for inventory.
Yeah.
So like it had to be accurate and whatever. But if you didn't get it done during a certain time, then you were in bigger trouble than not doing it at all, right? So then his bosses used to tell him to whip the numbers, meaning just whatever it is, just whip it.
For
That's all they
real?
care about. So then it's like the store is like either experiencing a shrinkage or like there's like numbers not like it was always a mess because it was more important how fast you fucking counted than versus what's actually there. And he was just so aggravated and disgusted with the whole thing, and he couldn't go to management because management reported to somebody else, and the people upstairs don't give a shit,
No, and they definitely don't. They care about the numbers because they care about the shareholders and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't mean for this to get into like a bit. No. You I went down the rabbit hole.
I want to give an example of the right thing, and I saw that from you and what you started doing when I first started working with you.
Really?
You're like, yeah, let's go out for tacos after, right? So I'm like, okay, we're just going out for tacos. So I didn't know that this was a thing for your business until like I regularly started working with you, and then when Nathan started working with us, Nathan's like, do we always get tacos after we work? And I'm like, yes, we do. So like, and at one point, like Nathan was with us for a year, and he said to me, he said, I want to own my business someday. And the one thing I will always do is take on my employees to eat after work, because it just gave him such a good feeling to be appreciated in such a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, then we got a chance to talk about how the day went, what went right, what went wrong. So it was such a refreshing recap. And also we felt appreciated because you bought the food for us, and it was just, so for you, it was like I think it was a business and a personal decision, but it's like
more personal, to be honest.
Yeah, but you were so smart about it that you didn't just like, hey, let's just bullshit and bitch about the day. You're like, what can we do better? So you took that as a growing opportunity for the business, and that's a great example.
Oh, that's exceptionally nice.
How did you even come up with that? It just came naturally to you?
I literally always thought, why doesn't someone do this for me? Like, when you look at the price versus the benefits, it wildly outweighs. Like the benefits way outweigh it. Like some businesses I worked at, they take you out for like dinner like once a year.
Okay.
Like I remember being taken out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, here's $100. Go gamble the night away." And I was like, "Cool."
That'll last you like half an hour.
Well, right. But it was $100. They took us out to Vegas. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really neat. And I thought, well, this is big. I don't really like this big stuff. Why not just cut this up into more meaningful, like actual engagements?
Yeah.
You know, I don't
So
know.
you're like, hey, after a long working day, this would be a nice treat. And it really is.
It was my favorite thing to do after a working day. And for years, I worked solo. So I would go to either that taco place in Elgin, or there's a donut place on the other side of Elgin that serves like soup all night long. And I would just go and sit and eat soup. And it was the perfect way to calm down after a extremely stressful day.
Yeah. Yeah. So then when you started having a crew, then you just started inviting us.
Right.
That's cool.
I thought it was too important.
Yeah.
And I know there's more stuff I want to do. Like I've always tried to give like Christmas bonuses or holiday bonuses. And it got to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding money.
Yeah. and I think those tacos after a work day, they are way more meaningful and way more important than any Christmas bonus you've ever given. So
Thank you for mentioning that. So this year,
there's no Christmas bonus. Yeah. No worries. But I still want some tacos after work.
oh, we're getting tacos.
All right, cool.
We'll get Christmas tacos. Instead of cilantro, it's like tree twigs.
Stop.
So this is little to do with communication. This is more about communicating to clients.
Okay.
But I heard an awesome article or a news thing on NPR about Alan Adamson. And Alan Adamson is a branding marketer.
Okay.
Okay. And he takes branding names and shortens them. Now, this isn't just what he does. Like, he works for an agency.
Okay.
But this is what he's kind of been known for.
This is what he is known for. Okay.
Yeah.
So he takes like pre-existing companies with popular long names.
With popular long names, shortens them.
Okay.
To make them easy to remember
Okay.
for customers.
Okay. So this is like stuff he's done recently, like in the last couple of decades recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He also did Weight Watchers. He changed Weight Watchers to WW, which, to be
Oh.
honest, I don't know. I've never seen that.
I've seen it, but I never made the connection that they actually changed it. But I've heard it say WW. Yeah.
He was also on the team that did Federal Express to FedEx. Which
Wow. I thought everybody called it FedEx all the time.
That's it. When I read this, or when I heard it, I was like, FedEx stands for Federal Express. I didn't know.
Oh shit!
I
You're right.
literally thought it was just
it was always FedEx
forever.
Yeah.
And then one of the newer ones, which I remember when they did this and they
What?
pushed it out and it was weird. And then you had a really good example of this. Dunkin' Donuts changed their name to Dunkin'.
Because it's more than donuts.
They shouldn't do donuts.
Yeah.
I've tasted them.
You don't like donuts?
I love donuts.
Okay. You don't
Not
like Dunkin'
Dunkin's
Donuts.
donuts.
Okay. I forgot what my example was. I
thought
told
you said
earlier.
something like you said.
Oh
that-
yeah. It was the
email?
IHOP. It was
Oh,
IHOP.
IHOP, that's right.
Yes. A few years ago, I was on the IHOP mailing list, email list, because I used to get coupons. And then one day this thing pops up. It's like new branding from IHOP. Instead of International House of Pancakes, we are now International House of Burgers. So it was
IHOP.
IHOP, yes. And I remember looking at this going, what the fuck are they doing? I'm like, I didn't even know they sold burgers. So
Oh my
I
God.
was like,
dude, their Philly is out of this world. By the way, please continue.
I haven't been to IHOP in a decade.
Oh, because you can't eat anything
the gluten.
there.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so we used to go when the kids were little because everything was cheap then. But anyway, yeah. So it's like I was like, what is going on? So it's I think I even like texted you or something. I'm like,
You did.
what is happening with this? And then as it turns out, it was just a whole marketing ploy. There was no new rebranding. It was just an email blast to piss off people and get them talking about
IHOB.
Yes. So all these people got pissed for no reason. But what did they do? They went and talked to their business partners. They talked to their friends. They probably went into IHOP and be like, what is going on? And everybody's like, no, we're still IHOP. But we didn't get the memo.
Well, I mean, the perfect thing is to brand recognition, right? This is why Coca-Cola still advertises at the front of every movie. They don't need more advertising.
Not only that, we don't have any other fucking options in the lobby. It's all Coke, so it's not like we can ask for Pepsi.
They make that, well, right, perfect. They don't care if you buy a Coke. They don't give a shit. What they care about is the next time you have a thought of a drink, it is Coke that comes into your mind. And that's genius. I mean, but that takes a lot of effort and time and motive.
I mean, they've been at it for over 100 years.
They've been at it forever. You can do that smaller too. Like personally, the only nail technicians that I know, like fingernails, is One Stop Beauty.
Yep.
Because we've worked with them, because I've said their name so many times. I will never think of anyone else in that realm.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm inundated with that. So that's why like everyone can do that. And I think by shortening your name, it makes it infinitely easier. And fuck, my business name
is that why you picked it? Because it was short?
That's one of them. Yeah. There was a great research paper that came out and said people remember production companies if they are letters and numbers.
Wow.
Like A24 and yada yada. There's a bunch of others. Red 24, a lot of 24 because there's 24 frames in a second.
Yeah.
When we were changing from Night Owls Media, which no one could ever spell because there was an S in the middle.
It's not difficult.
It's not, but people think Night Owl. I wanted something that was infinitely easier. And Eo7 just rolled off the tongue. It made a camera.
I'm telling you, that logo is epic. I still love it.
It was perfection.
Yeah.
And literally, like when I was coming up with the names, I drew the logo first, and I was like, not as beautiful as it is now, but I was like, oh my God, this is a good idea. Having that short name, it helps.
Yep.
Federal Express. I got tired saying that. I would rather get on the phone with someone than
Let's Federal Express. It's like 9 syllables versus 2.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Dunkin', I think, is a little weird because I've always known them as Dunkin' Donuts. And where the weirdness comes in is my lens.
Okay.
How I see it, not how I see businesses should be doing it. It's literally my stupid ass going, well, when you were a kid, you used to eat fucking Long Johns and cinnamon rolls from Dunkin' Donuts.
Chocolate Long Johns are still Ryan's favorite, so he loves that.
I love Long Johns.
Yeah.
Wait, with or without the inside? Like cream?
No, just plain chocolate.
Yeah, me
Long
too.
Johns.
I don't like the cream.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Tell me I'm getting Boston cream if you put shit in my donut.
Right.
It's weird.
It is.
What's your go-to donut? I know you're gluten-free.
I can't. It used to be chocolate, something with chocolate.
Oh, really? Just
like I used to like the double chocolate donut with chocolate frosting.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a chocolate
Are
girl.
there gluten-free donuts?
There are, yes.
Are they any good?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yes.
Oh.
I love the ones from buying it from the freezer. Okay, like a grocery store, and then you microwave it for 1 minute, and it's like, yes.
Do you remember the name?
No.
Why?
Shush you.
No, not you.
I know. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure I will if I think about it hard enough.
You immediately went to that mindset. You immediately went to, yes, this is the best gluten-free donut. You even told me how to prepare said donut.
I can't remember the name. This is terrible.
Well, it's not though, because I think what you're proving is that not all names are perfect for the audience.
Right. But I will know it when I see it in the freezer. I know it'll click with me 100%.
Here's a good question. Do you know it because of the name, or do you know it because of the design and
Both.
the branding?
I can picture it. I can picture that it's in a plastic box, and each box has like the donut shape on top, so it fits in it perfectly. And it's a clear box with just the plain black label. And I will know the name when I see it because I recognize the box and the name. And I can't tell you what the name is.
Perfect. I love tortilla chips.
Okay.
And let me step back for a second. I love one brand of tortilla chips.
Okay.
Let me step back again. I love two brands of tortilla chips. One is much higher on my to-buy list than the other.
Okay.
Underneath that, no chips exist. Okay. Tostitos are garbage. I'm sorry, they're terrible.
So is there one or two chips that you love?
There are two.
Okay.
I said it that way to emphasize that one is
Is way better.
epically better than the other
So
one.
what's number one?
Number two
Okay.
is donkey chips.
Oh, yeah. The green one?
Green or red.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember that
Is there's a donkey
is there's
on
a
it.
donkey on
Yep.
it, and they're called donkey chips.
Yep.
I laughed my ass off.
It's fucking
and
perfect.
they're good.
Yeah, they are.
The number one, which is infinitely better than
Yeah.
donkey chips, I couldn't tell you the name.
Is it the one that's also green
Yes.
but no donkey?
Yes.
And it's at the end of every fucking
Yes.
aisle?
There's
And
a
it's
yellow
not just
bag and
yes.
a red bag. So the thing that blows me away is I have been eating these for probably 15 or 20 years. Consistently.
And you don't know the name
I
of
couldn't
it.
tell you the name.
Holy shit.
But I know the
What is-
branding.
yeah.
And heaven forbid if they rebrand.
Oh.
I will never find them again.
Yeah.
They could literally be right here, and I'm going, where are my favorite chips?
Oh my God. And I know exactly what you're talking about. They taste like they're fresh fried out of the...
And they're like crunchy and thick. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a really good sensibility about like rebranding and communicating to
Yes.
your audience
Yes.
about who you are. 'Cause,
Yes.
like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone through a grocery store and seen like a new brand on a box and it says same great taste, new brand. I'm like, what company is this? Oh, it's a company I've bought from before, but I have no idea what it is now.
Yeah.
I think shortening your name is one thing, but having a clear communication about what you are and then how do you impact that in your audience's mind. Because donkey chips, got it. Donkey,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm on board. The better chips,
Yeah.
couldn't fucking tell
Neither
you.
one of us can remember.
Couldn't fucking tell
Yeah.
you. This leads us perfectly into our last little segment of communication.
Which is...
Counterintuitive marketing.
This is all you.
This is
Because-
not all me because
Dude, but this makes my head hurt, but I love it so much.
This
So
one's fun.
It is fun. I'm excited.
Donkey chips. What if you're selling tortilla chips that you want to put some salsa, maybe some like jardinera, or you're making some home dipped cheese.
Or some hummus.
Ew, gross. Or
I love hummus. So you're not going to think of donkeys, basically.
You're
That's
not
what
gonna
you're
think
saying.
of
Yes.
donkeys.
Yes.
the
But
last
it
thing I want to
doesn't
think of
matter,
is farm
though.
animals.
Exactly. But maybe that donkey brought those chips to the market.
No, I'm sure there is some
I
great
know,
story
I
to
know.
it.
Yeah.
The point is, I am not going to connect donkeys with chips, but now it's in my head.
Yes. So whoever came up with that made me remember. Yeah.
And to me, that's counterintuitive because when I think of chips, I want to think of dip chips or chip bowls or salsa chips or something generic.
Yeah.
But donkey, I remember it.
Yeah.
This got me thinking. I was at the Cubs game with my wife not that long ago, and the announcer was just reading off a bunch of advertisements. And I'm always interested in seeing who advertises where.
Okay.
Okay.
I had no idea that announcers read advertisements for one. So this is news to me.
If there's a way to give someone money.
But seriously, there's like 50,000 captive people like literally listening. So
Right.
that's brilliant. Let's be honest.
Well, here's the issue. He says, try. I don't remember what he said. It was some kind of drink. Try. You might even like it. I lost my shit.
Like in what way?
I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, that is so brilliant.
So you thought that hey, this company told this guy to say, try it, you might even like it.
You might even like it. And I thought that was like the weirdest, funniest tagline. And literally before I heard anything that came next, my brain was, I want to go find this. I don't care what it is. If it's a beer, I don't like beer, but I'll try it.
Because you might even like it. That's genius.
That's weird. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And then the lady in front of me just started crying. She goes, that is the worst slogan ever. And I was like, yes, it is. And I started writing it down in Google because I wanted to find out what beer, what drink, if it's a pop, what was it? I Googled it and I couldn't find anything.
So this slogan doesn't exist with this drink that he was advertising?
So I kept listening to him and he kept making like little jokes.
Other jokes after making other announcements? About
other announcements. And not all of them were like as mean-hearted as you might even like it. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it was just little funny snide comments. And I was like, son of a bitch, whatever company that was just bombed. Because I'm not going to remember it. I'm only remembering the joke.
Okay.
And if that joke is not correlated with that brand, I'm not going to ever find it.
Right.
Because I don't remember what he said.
But you remember the tagline.
I remember the tagline because it was counterintuitive.
Okay.
And I thought that was the
So was
funniest
that a successful thing or was it not successful?
No, I think it was wildly not. I think whatever their advertising is, which I don't know now because I don't know what brand it was.
But if the announcer was trying to be funny, was he just adding his 2 cents? So like,
I think so.
Was it the try you might like it? Maybe it was just him saying it, not the company saying it.
It was not the company saying it.
Oh, it was not the company.
No, because if it was the company, I'd be able to find it.
Oh,
that's the point.
That's the part I missed. I'm sorry. So the announcer took it upon himself to talk
He was
about
just making
the
little
brand.
snide comments, little funny comments.
Okay, wow.
Which was funny, but
if I was the company paying for that, I would be pissed.
Right. But then again, the company didn't have the wherewithal, and granted, how do you foresee everything? But if that was actually their slogan, you would have just gotten a customer immediately.
Yeah.
So this got me thinking about counterintuitive marketing. How do you market something in an inappropriate way for that brand?
Yeah.
When I say inappropriate, I don't mean like inappropriate as in like,
but like something
dude,
that you're not expecting.
Something you're not expecting.
Yeah.
So the best example I've ever seen of this, and my God, I've spent enough money with them to justify this answer, is Liquid Death.
Yep.
I love Liquid Death. I love their branding. I love their marketing. I love their like who they are, their core values.
Yeah.
But the first time I ever heard about them was they had a cartoon of a dude holding an axe and a waiver that said, if you want to buy a can of Liquid Death, you have to sell your soul.
Where did you see this? At the store? Online. Okay.
And this is before any store had it.
Okay.
And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
So you actually had to sign this waiver in order to get...
You had to sign this waiver. And actually, they're doing it right now on their store for the holidays.
Okay.
They're like, sign away your soul.
Yeah.
And what happened was like this sign your soul away for a product. It got people in arms.
Somewhere on their website, they offer to sell your soul. And I was like, seriously?
Of course.
So they have a tab on their menu bar, like their menu list. It says sell your soul. Then down here in the fine print, it says, by selecting sell my soul, I agree to receive important info and offers from Liquid Death since they will own my soul for eternity. It says sell your soul to join. Contract binding for all eternity.
They were mad.
But I don't think that a lot of people understand that this stuff is serious. The devil doesn't care. He sees an opportunity and he takes it.
Right, because it's like, oh, you're making it into like a religious thing and like...
and you decide to pay by selling your soul, even if you don't take it seriously, the devil takes that seriously. You are coming into covenant with the kingdom of darkness.
Signing your soul has to do with the devil.
That's exactly it.
So yeah, let's just not take it seriously and be desensitized to things like this that are soul binding for eternity because you're signing a contract. And the only one who can break that is Jesus Christ. Amen.
Just got up in arms about it, which all it did was give them free advertising.
Yep.
All they did was put out a PDF and a cool graphic and said, sell your soul.
That's brilliant.
For water.
And everybody else just did the work for them. That's freaking genius.
Exactly. That's like the IHOP. The IHOB.
Yes.
You know, it got people talking enough to engage with each other. And when the more you talk about something, the more you want to go do it. So it got people in there.
Little side note on that. Here's the most outrageously interesting part, and I'm still pissed. I didn't find out that it was a marketing joke.
Of course.
For like another 5 or 6 years.
Oh, was it really?
This was fairly recently that I found out that it was a big like, haha, we're just fucking with you. We're using it to promote ourselves.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't acknowledge it either.
I thought it was just like they released it and the backlash was so huge. Immediately they backpedaled.
Of course.
I didn't know it was just like an email tactic. It was like fucking brilliant.
It's brilliant.
So for 10 years, every time I passed by IHOP, I thought about how they made that stupid burger mistake.
That's funny because what you just said, listen to what you just said. Every time I drove by, I thought about them when they made that stupid mistake, which infers that they were smart to go back to their original branding.
Yes.
So you look at that brand as a positive brand and when you go, you know what? They were smart enough.
Yes.
I respect them.
Yes, like they listened to the backlash of everybody
they
and they did the
customers.
right thing.
They did the right thing. They sent an email.
That's all they did. And they fucked with millions of heads, I'm sure, you know, like they did with me. And it doesn't matter to most people, but like it stuck with me. Like I've been going to IHOP since I came to this country. Like there was like when the first time I ordered the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity, I was so embarrassed.
Is that IHOP or is that Denny's?
No, that's IHOP.
Is it?
Rudy Tooty? Don't even.
You got defensive.
No,
okay.
It's IHOP for sure. It was like, you know, 2 bacon, 2 sausage, 2 pancakes, 2 something, whatever. And I like, and part of their commercial was embarrassing name, really good food or something like that. So they were fully aware that it was an embarrassing name.
It's perfect.
And I just...
It's perfect.
To me, like that brings me the warm and fuzzies because that was like the first restaurant I ever loved, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beyond brilliant marketing then. On that same note, you ever see those pictures of like the strip clubs where they have like 49 hot chicks and 1 ugly one?
No, I've never seen that.
I've seen it a lot. Like it's on
like,
a lot of memes.
That's an
and stuff.
actual thing.
It's like they have like a sign outside the strip club.
Oh
that
my God,
says that.
that's funny.
And
that's really funny.
It is because then you go, who's the ugly one?
You're gonna come in just to find out how ugly. And probably there is no ugly one.
Of course not.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Well, it's the same thing. It kind of makes you think like,
yeah.
I can't tell if they're being super truthful or not.
Yeah,
and if they
but,
are,
but
kind of
you'll
want to check
pay
this out.
attention enough to even try to figure it out. So getting the attention is the prize, isn't it?
And I've never remembered anything a strip club has said ever in my life. Except this.
What's the name of the strip club?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But there were a lot of them. Like,
but
they
if
did
you
this at a lot of
Googled
different
it,
places.
like it would come up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like a lot of places did this. You know, it's
Okay.
like putting like, you know, like Marketing Monday or whatever. Like 100 places do that shit. So counterintuitive advertising, again, the ugly stripper, like why would you go, like that's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
What are some other like can you think of any other examples? Because I think so many brands go the safe route. But here we are, like orgasming over IHOP and Liquid Death and a brand I'll never know that didn't do the advertisement of you might like it. But like, what other brands do you know that
I'm sure
did
if
this?
like I watched a commercial, like it would, you know, pop in my head, but like I can't think of anything right now. Can you?
I can't either. I
Like
think
trying to think back on the last Super Bowl commercials or anything. All I remember is like
they're too family safe.
like Ben Affleck and J-Lo did something with Dunkin' Donuts that I thought it was really dumb.
But they were dumb. They didn't put the company in like a weird position. They didn't be like, come to
no.
Dunkin' Donuts and drink Drano.
Oh no, they were dumb. I just didn't like them, doing anything.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That whole Dunkin' Donuts campaign was dumb.
All I know is that like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, there were Dunkin' Donuts T-shirts with their slogan on it at the thrift store by the dozens.
No!
Yes.
And like, this isn't like a weird occurrence because you hunt thrift stores.
I love going to thrift stores. That's
Yeah.
like my mental therapy, So when I started, I'm like, are you joking? They
That's
just all
funny.
got donated. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was a big dud.
Wow. And they paid a lot
Kidding.
of
Can you
money
imagine?
for that shit.
Yeah.
Did we do the episode of the Super Bowl? Or was that just me and then I got flagged and it got taken
That
down?
was you and you got
Okay.
flagged. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through every Super Bowl commercial and I basically walked through what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Do I think it worked or do I think it not worked?
I think we should do it again like this coming Super Bowl,
we
but
would
we
have
have
to
to
do
do
it
it the
live.
right way. Yeah.
We couldn't do it like something
Oh yeah, that's fine. We can do it live.
because YouTube struck it down.
Okay.
Even though I'm adding commentary and I didn't, they say you have to like change the size
Okay.
of the image and like change it somehow.
Okay.
And I think what I did was I played the whole commercial and then I walked through it so
Yeah.
people could watch it. So we can't play the whole thing.
Gotcha.
But we can link to them
Okay, that's fine.
and we can
works.
just show like little segments. So I think that would be a blast.
Oh yeah, because I
to
love
do.
watching to see what they put out there and what sticks and what doesn't.
You, me, and Nathan sat down and just watched them without
And we talked
recording,
about it
and then
to
we
each other,
talked
yes.
about them. I think he got mad at me for not agreeing with his opinion. And I want everyone to know, because chances are if you're watching this, you probably know me. If I get into a debate, it has nothing to do with me being angry or wanting to convince you otherwise. It's 100% that says, here's my opinion.
You just get a little too heated.
Do I?
Yes, you do, because sometimes you're scary making those arguments, and I'm like, I've walked away from you.
I don't think I get heated, Hilda.
Anyway, so you just need to how to turn it down a little bit, just a little bit,
So not
'Cause you get
11?
not 11, yeah. Like maybe 6, 7 is good.
I don't
but
understand anything
I know.
below 11,
I know.
Hilda.
I know. Let's not go.
I live my life by 11.
I know. That's why I'm here, to calm you down and tell you to shut the fuck up.
Guys, is there something that you would like us to talk about? We would love to hear your thoughts, even if it's like, hey, talk about this. Hey, I find this interesting, or
Yep.
why does this happen this
Yep.
way? We would love to hear about it. Leave us a
Yep.
comment down below. And
Especially if it says Hilda's so brilliant. Comment.
you just want to do like a whole episode of like why Hilda is so brilliant.
Yes, please.
And you just be like quiet the whole time wearing glasses and you'll just be sleeping. But I'll be
I'll
like,
look-
Hilda, why are you so brilliant? And you'll be like you won't say anything. You just be like oozing the I am amazing.
I fart, therefore I am.
Ooh. Is that the Eo7 new tagline?
No, that's just my own.
Oh, fair enough. Counterintuitive. I get it. Have a great day, guys.
This is the good life. Oh, this is the good life. Whoa.